No
Okay,
doubt.
it's recording. Um, all right, this is for the people that aren't joining. Oh, and they can probably see me on the camera as well. Hold on, I'm joining off of my other account real quick, right before so I can monitor the chat. Okay. Um, all right, all right. I'm joining. All right. I have the chat open for all the people that want to type in the chat. All right, so come into the day. We have it at 9 o'clock. Damn, I'm hot as balls, bro. Hold on, let me turn my fan on. My bad, boys. It's so fucking hot.
Yo, bro, you echoing from
All right,
your other phone.
Here, bro, coughing 4K for real.
all right, all right. We back here, boys. Hold on, open the door for my girl. Okay. All right, so coming into the day, obviously I'm bullish. But did we get bullish price action off rip? No. But
Yo, you
what
echoing.
I do beforehand is I'm looking on the daily time frame, and I've been saying this all week. And I don't know why we keep edging this daily gap, bro. But this is like the draw on liquidity. You feel me? This has always been the draw on liquidity for me. So obviously through TradingView replay, it shows like this big ass wick and stuff, so we can't get like a real time look at what the daily time frame was looking at. But you know, as you can see, like we're delivering from this super liquidity, right? And we're delivering from this daily gap, and we have this high right here. And on the 4 hour, it's basically a relative equal high right here. So what do we know about relative equal highs and equal highs? This is really good draws. Even on Wednesday, like even though we swept these highs right here, these are all failure swings for this high. So these are significant highs in a sense where it's like previous day highs, but they aren't the drawn liquidity high. So it's like even though we came up and we swept them, I think like during Asia or some bullshit like this, or maybe during like FOMC, like I wasn't really expecting like a big dump. Like I definitely was expecting a sudden max come down to this 4 hour wick and then head higher. But the thing about this Discord and the thing about my teaching style is that I'm not gonna fucking lie to you and tell you that you need to know everything about price and that you need to be 100% correct, because being right is so irrelevant when it comes to being profitable. You don't need to be right. All you need to do is just be adaptive. Okay, so um, where are we at in price? So what I wanted to see today was, and I put this in the Discord earlier. I know some of you guys were in the Discord at this point, but I said, okay, I wanted to tap like this and then something like this. But also noted that at this point in time, obviously this is TradingView right here, but what I'm noticing is that we didn't close above this 4 hour gap at this 2 o'clock a.m. 4 hour, right? And when we're looking at price coming into 9:15, we're sitting about right here on this candle. Obviously, it's not showing right now, but I'm also peeping. It's like that's weird that we came up during London session and then we just came down last minute and didn't close above this. But that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Come come 10 a.m. We can still most likely close above this. So for the time being, I was still bullish, and what I wanted to see was us tap into this gap right here and then head higher. Here's the problem with that though, which is very important, especially when it comes to CK. I don't know if CK's in here, but this is very important when it comes to CK's trade. Is in order for us to come down and tap into this bullish gap, and this is a little bit more advanced thinking, but you guys are gonna get there eventually. Um, in order for us to come down and tap into this gap and get higher, we have to basically do this move and then get higher above that 4 hour gap, which was sitting at, I have it marked out for future purposes. 602. I'm gonna mark it with pink. We would need to come down, tap this gap, get above 602, all right before 10 a.m. so that we would close above the 4-hour gap and be basically disrespecting this 4-hour gap in order for us to see higher, right? With that being said, if we look at what 930 did, let's just get straight to it. Here we go. We tap into this gap. Mind you, we also have a liquidity sweep. We can get rid of this liquidity sweep right here. Let me also look at chat. We have this liquidity sweep right here as well. We tap into this gap right here, and so I'm thinking, okay, if we are going to head higher, we have to do this with relatively quick speed and stay above this right here for 10 o'clock. So I'm looking for a V-shaped recovery. You feel me? Just straight up. I'm just looking for a straight V-shaped recovery. It would just make the most sense, especially if you want to close pretty bullish on the 4-hour after tapping to this gap. So the fact that we started chopping a bit right here, and after the 5-minute, if we look at the 5-minute, we came all the way up. We left the 5-minute fair value gap right here, left the 5-minute fair value gap right here, and this is already kind of weird because it's like, okay, highest time frame inversion would have to look something like this, which is pretty premium in the range. And if it doesn't look good, which is something that you guys have to understand, if it doesn't look good pattern wise, it's most likely not the move. Sometimes it can be the move, but most of the time a winning trade looks like it's gonna win. So I want you guys to remember that. So given that we left this wick right here, we would need a decent like manipulation lower in order for us to like, you know, take this trade and then this wick be our break even spot right here. But the reason why I didn't particularly like this trade and why I didn't take it, and this is technically the model, I wouldn't be surprised if PP Blake and PB Patrick took this, because this is quote unquote the model. Here's the highest time frame inversion, which is the 1 minute, but the reason why I didn't like this specifically was because we didn't get that V-shaped recovery. We were chopping a bit beforehand, and ES at the time was already a bit towards the highs over here. Like we had a SMT up here, so it just didn't even look good on ES. The delivery didn't look good on ES as well. And this gap, I'm looking at it and I'm like, is that a fair value gap right here? Like I can't really tell. So you know, like it just like it's too questionable. On top of that, the 5-minute closed like a rejection block, and the 15-minute didn't close too bullish out of this 1-hour gap. If you wanted, you'd preferably want this 15-minute to close, you know, at least like to this area and leave like an obvious rejection block. This is just a slight rejection block. So didn't really like it, and this is something that you guys need to really understand. If you want to have a high win rate and you want to have an 80% win rate, 90% win rate, you have to have conviction in your trades, and you have to be able to think, okay, I want to take the best possible, most obvious trade possible. It needs to be obvious. And once you develop that mindset, you'll be okay with missing trades like this. Let's just say this did play out, right? You'll be okay with missing trades like this because there's thousands of opportunity, not thousands, but there's going to be more opportunity in the market. You know what I'm saying? So just miss out on a trade like this for a better trade. So didn't take that, luckily, and it didn't work out, obviously. And at this point, I understand that we are going to ultimately respect this 4-hour gap right here. So now I'm looking for the next draws on liquidity, which is to me this low, and I didn't particularly want this low to be taken, but that's okay. Just because I didn't want it to be taken doesn't mean that it wasn't necessarily going to be taken or not. I wanted this rejection block respected, but Now that I understand, especially come macro, that we get this dump. Now I'm looking for a retrace, something like this, and then head towards that low later on. But given that we're not getting any retraces, it's like, oh well, too swell. I guess whenever we tap into this rejection block, which it's right here, this red line, after sweeping this liquidity, I will look for a trade. So at this point in time, I'm looking to buy off of this V-shaped recovery, but obviously we end up respecting this gap. This would have been our highest time frame gap because we have this order block right here, and then the next for value gap wouldn't have been until right here. So this would have been a break-even point. And if we got a V-shaped recovery, this would have been a very, very good looking trade. Super liquidity into a PD array, which would have been this rejection block, and then V-shaped recovery back up. So that's something I was looking into, but we respected that. So that's just not the trade that we got. And then, boom, out of nowhere, once we kind of respected it, this didn't get this V-shaped recovery, and we came back down. I'm thinking, okay, since this low is basically right here, now I want this low to be taken for me to take a high probable long. I'm not just gonna pattern trade this 1 minute, but I did I did notify the Discord that this trade right here wasn't a bad trade to take for a particular reason, and you can go back and see it, but I'm going to explain to it now. The 10 o'clock open came, and at this point in time, if you look at the 1 hour, we closed super bearish, right? We closed super bearish on the 1 hour, closed super bearish on the 4 hour, and we left this 4 hour order block. So to me, it's like, okay, I think this low is going to get hit. Therefore, 10 o'clock is either going to take the low out immediately, or we're going to manipulate up, tap into a more premium gap like this one right here, and then head lower. So so it's like something like this is what I wanted to see. With that being said, if that's something I want to see, and I'm understanding that the 10 o'clock new hourly open just came, I'm expecting an open high low close, which is something I typed in the Discord right as we inverse. And on top of that, we have a very clean V-shaped recovery, plus these order blocks here as well. So this just looks like a clean inverse by itself, on top of the fact that the 10 o'clock opened. So it's like, okay, you could try it out if you want to play for the manipulation. Full TPs going like this. I'm not even gonna try to like trail myself any higher than this. Like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is where I want the price to go to, and then come back lower, and then break even is gonna be right at this swing high. So caught out, we immediately get our break even. We flush through it, and then we obviously hit. Right. The reason why I didn't take this was because, and I've said this on my TikTok and my TikTok videos, is you're better off taking the actual move than trying to predict the manipulation. You'll have a higher win rate just taking the actual move instead of trying to predict the manipulation. Because guess what? If I take this long, right? I take this long, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like I'm expecting like a manipulation, upwards first before we take that low because the new 10 a.m. open, right? And then we do something like this, and then we immediately come down like that. Guess what I'm gonna be thinking to myself? Bro, obviously, like this 1 hour close super bearish, this 4 hour close super bearish, and this on a third. Like, even though I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've been trading for a while, you know what I mean? I've gotten mentored by some good people, and I've done, collected data on shit like this, and I'm telling myself, yeah, I'm a good trader. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not gonna sit here and play the prediction game, unfortunately. I want to win. I want to make money. That's what it's about. I'm not trying to sit here and be smarter than the charts. I want to be cohesive with the charts. I want to dance with the charts. You feel what I'm trying to say? So I'm not playing the manipulation game. Now, can you? If you took this trade, am I going to call you, a gambler? No, it makes sense, right? But if you took this trade with anything other than the mindset of you thinking that this is manipulation to the upside before heading lower, yes, you are a gambler. Yes, you're a pattern trader. Unfortunately, I'm calling you out. But anyways, we get up there, and then I'm like, wait a minute. That's weird. Why aren't we reversing from this spot? And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I wasn't necessarily expecting this dump in the first place, right? We kind of came through this, this hourly pretty crazy, right? And we just did a failure swing to the downside. So chances are, chances are, price is just unprobable when it comes to just sweeping liquidity, and we can very well keep heading higher. And so that's what I type in the Discord. I'm like, okay, we keep bullish like this. I'm going to ride the wave, quote unquote. I'm going to be cohesive for the charts. I'm going to understand that we are bullish now. This failure swing is a failure swing, and that's what it comes down to. I'm reading order flow. So the reason why I took this 5-minute inverse right here with my stop loss at this 5-minute low is for one particular reason. If we look at it in real time before this gets inversed, right? We had a big 15-minute candle, right? So at the time with this next 15-minute open, this entire thing was a fair value gap. So as we're getting higher and higher into the range, right? This fair value gap is getting smaller, until this fair value gap doesn't even exist at all, and there's no bearish PDRA to send us lower past the freaking 15-minute. So the only higher time frame PDRA to send us lower at this point is this 5-minute gap. You feel me? This is the only bearish PDRA that could possibly send us lower until this 15-minute gap. On top of that, we got a V-shaped recovery with a lot of order flow. So it's like, okay, if we get this inverse at the same time, get rid of this 15-minute bearish gap, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'll take this trade and I'll have my stop loss at this low. The reason why this stop loss is slightly tighter, quote unquote, if you guys consider this tight or not. In comparison to the 5-minute, it's tight because I know you're thinking we could have easily, came back, tapped into this gap and head higher. The reason why I personally didn't think that was going to happen was because if you just look at this delivery, we are clearly just going to just deliver. Right, we're just delivering straight up. There's not really any retraces. It's one of those days. And on top of that, the 5-minute inverse, which is this 10-14 candle, we left a fair value gap right here, plus an order block. So this low to me is, since we're super bullish, should be protected. And we have this inverse also to protect us. So I enter right here, and I obviously notify the cord and say that I'm entering right here. Now, am I going to be notifying the cord every single time I enter a trade? No. This isn't a signal service, unfortunately. I just felt like being saucy today. I felt like being a little spicy, and I was just like, screw it. I'll notify the cord my thought process, because a bunch of people joined yesterday, and I was like, okay, so people wanted to join the Discord, let me just, run up to my thought process so they understand that I'm legit and I'm not the type of person to signal a trade after I've already entered, I'm already break even, like most of your favorite freaking mentors. So I'm going to, just notify the cord right here, and then I enter, my stop loss is right here. Once we get this candle and reverse back up, on my evals, I added another con. But on my XFA, I just stayed like this. To be honest with you, I didn't have the time to enter my XFA because we already came up with this delivery, and I wasn't gonna mess up my clean entry right here to average in right here, So break even was going to be at this high, but once we got this delivery right here, if you're looking at price and you're like, okay, it would low-key be an incredibly bad sign if we somehow came all the way back down to my break even, that's probably a good spot to go break even. You feel me? Especially in this price action where we've been unprobable, and stuff, and this 15-minute gap might not even get hit for us to get sent lower. We already have a bunch of displacement above this high. It's like, be safe, protect your capital. I promise you, if your trade is going to work out, you're probably not going to get break even after some displacement passes highs. And on top of that, we have this order block here as well. So we have a PD array protecting my break even spot. You understand? So for me to get break even, we would have to disrespect this 1 minute order block. So I'll go break even. I'll notify you guys to go break even. And obviously the hard break even would have been this 15-minute gap, and then I'm targeting right up here. So targeting up here, and where do I exit? I drag my stop loss. I know you guys can't see right here on the 1 minute chart, but we're like stuttering on the 30-second. And no, I did not pay for that expensive ass plan to look at the 30 and 15-second because I'm trading on TopStep X, so I really don't. Not TopStep X, Project X, so I really don't need to. You know what I'm saying? But especially if I'm not even executing on the 30-second 99% of the time. So at this point in time on the 30-second, we're like wobbling and stuff, and we're like we definitely like should have this candle, this 1024 candle, to me definitely should have been like that push up. And with this 5 minute open, which is 1025, we're either going to explode up or we're going to come down and do some bullshit. So me, I'm like, okay, I'm already up with my drag stop loss, already up 1.36 R. So I'm like, okay, like this is straight to me. And on my evals, I'm already up. When obviously my eval was, I got a little bit dogger of a freaking fill. I'm already up 2.42 R, so it's like, okay. Actually, I'm lying. My freaking stop loss was right here in my evals, because I definitely wanted to pass that shit. We came down, and then once we came up, once we hit this high, we should flush through this high if this is the drawn liquidity. So once we hit this high, I have my stop loss dragged to this low right here, and we came down, and for good reason, we would have break even me. So let's go through the thought process of why I think that we should flush through highs and why you should go break even at swing highs and stuff, which is something that a lot of people don't know. So my thought process when it comes to swing highs and swing lows before you're drawing liquidity is basically retail logic. Don't know why it works, don't care why it works, it just works, right? Let me give you a good example. There's 1,000 examples here, but I'll give you one. If you guys see this high, guess what we did when we come through this high? We flush through it, leave a gap. Guess what we see on this high? We flush through it, leave a gap, right? When we come up to this high, we flush through it, right? So even if you entered literally right here, we flush through it, we don't come down, and eventually we leave this gap. Now I'm not saying we're gonna leave a gap every single time, but I'm saying if the drawn liquidity is higher, all these little highs right here should be flushed through, straight up. They just need to be flushed through. The logic behind this is what's that day trading strategy that people do? The breakout strategy. It's just like that. It's exactly like that. So when I see this high right here, same logic. If we come up and take this high, we need to flush through this high to hit this. And on top of that, I also am trailing my stop early because if you see on ES, we already took out these major highs over here, right? Which is the ultimate drawn liquidity. So the fact that ES took out these highs is we could very much reverse right here. And unfortunately, I'm not trying to get break even off of a winning trade when I don't need to, when I'm already up 1.3 R. So yeah, that's the logic behind the highs and the lows. Hold on, I know I haven't even had my. Oh, have I had an echo this entire time? My bad, y'all boys. Alright, y'all should have muted my Play on VC account. If you guys know how to work Discord, but hopefully it's not playing on the screen recording. So that was my thought process behind the trade today. Just reacting to the market, understanding that today was just improbable, understanding that, yes, took this high out, so I'm trailing my stop loss, you know, and I like the whole logic behind the 15-minute. There's no bearish gaps to send us lower, which is the PB Trading's model that you guys understand with the highest time frame inversion. The point of taking the highest time frame inversion is to make sure that there isn't a opposite Peter array to send you lower. You know what I'm saying? To send things lower. So the fact that we didn't have a 15-minute right here, and the fact that there's no Peter array to send us lower, makes your trade that much more probable. That's how you're able to have an extremely high win rate. That's why it's high win rate, not just because, you know what I'm saying, it's lower RR. It's lower RR because you're taking the highest time frame inversion and you're taking off at the internal. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's basically what I got for today. If you guys have questions when it comes to like specific concepts, like maybe Power 3 or like market maker models and stuff like that, I'm obviously willing to go over it. But I think the takeaway from today is understanding that you don't necessarily need to be right about where price is going. You don't need to necessarily understand, draw liquidity to a point where, you know what I'm saying, you're only going to be trading towards the draw and this, just be very reactive. You know what I'm saying? Obviously today was harder because no one was expecting this dump, and then when we got this dump, everyone was expecting us just to at least get to this low, and we never got it. And then once we came all the way back higher, at this point, it's like, okay, if we're going to get bullish, we should come up to this high at the very least, and obviously dump if we don't get higher until later in the day. So, definitely not the easiest day. So if you lost today, like, don't even trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you lost that first IFEG setup, like, bro, like, don't trip, bro. That was a decent setup. I just so happened to not take it because I didn't like it. But there might be another day where I'm like, okay, let me take this, and I lose. So don't even trip. All right, I'm going to stop recording.